Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
I can't even imagine, I started as just a hobby thrifting in 2007, but I can't imagine, I guess 2013 was when people started talking about it, right? They started talking about FBA. Now, did you, back then there wasn't really any courses or anything, right? So how did you learn? And did you start with FBA or did you start with Merchant Fulfilled? How did you kind of come about it and then decide that this is what I was going to do and this is how I would do it?
Yeah, I don't know of any training that was available back then, if there was any. I think ASM was just starting then, or maybe it was a year after. I'm not sure. It was really close to that, which I of course kicked myself now. I was like, man, I should have started training back then. but yeah, there wasn't really much of anything. And Amazon back then didn't have many help files or there was no like Seller University, no like videos, things like that. It was kind of trial by fire. So we just kind of mucked through it. And in my presentation that I did at that Midwest Ecom conference, one of my things was showing my account getting suspended, which was pretty early on. And I believe, I can't remember the exact reason, but I think it was like we weren't shipping stuff, within like the 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it was. I think it was 48 hours still back then. So we got banned. It was super early on. And because we didn't know what we were doing, we didn't have any guidance. It was trial by fire. So that's, that was.
So your account got suspended. And how long had you been selling when your account got suspended the first time?
Yeah. Well, it's actually, knock on wood, I think it's only been once. I can't remember another time.
But back then, couldn't you just it was definitely more of an appeals process though, right? Where now it's just kind of like, bye.
No,
I'm never talking to you again.
No, actually it wasn't. Back then it was, it was more like just like template. Like, I think it was even worse than it was now. Honestly, it's been so long, I don't remember the process that I went to, but I think from what I remember, like, because with the app business, I learned that you just have to be super persistent. Like, I think I appealed like every day for like 2 months. And then finally, they gave in.
This guy is not going to leave us alone.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm pretty sure that's how it went, but I can't remember.
I can imagine that poor staff member, checking emails and stuff like that, just begging their manager, will you please, I'm so sick of it. Can we just do something here?
Yeah. I think I had written like letter after letter after letter. And then I'd found a blog post or an article or something that said don't write a friggin', book, get super to the point and tell them how you're going to fix it, and I think that's when I finally wrote a letter like that. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, cool, you're on, it's just and it was frustrating in the same point because it was like flipping a switch, it was weeks or months worth of agony to okay, cool, you're back. It was crazy.
And the thing was, during that time period, that's when FBA got started kind of being sold as a business model, and I actually took a break from Amazon during that time because I went to Hawaii during that time. So, I didn't want to ship from Hawaii because I was doing merchant fulfilled stuff early on. So when I came back and started my business, it was kind of crazy to think, oh, wow, what is this FBA thing that everybody's talking about? It was really different because Amazon was not really like that beforehand. It was just kind of, like you said, the wild, wild west. It's just click the sell yours here button and send some stuff in. So really interesting. Okay. So you got reinstated.
Yeah, we were reinstated and we were doing merchant fulfilled. I remember at one point sitting at back then that we had a much smaller house, sitting at our dining room table and it was myself, my mother-in-law, and my wife packing and shipping envelopes. And I remember at one point it was 600 orders, in one day. And that's when we were like, holy shit, this business is legit and we need to dedicate more time and resources to it.
Got it. So back then, it wasn't very saturated. So it was I'm sure so much opportunity. You bring a hot product in there that people want to get their hands on. That's more like a commodity. Back then, commodities were flying, right?
Yep.
Now, if you bring a commodity, you're like, why race to the bottom? Oh, but yeah, very cool.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at SellerRoundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, SellerSEO.com and AmazingAtHome.com.